Richard Sutejo, SCP PhD. Pak Richard Sutejo, the time is yours. Thank you so much.
Okay, Tess. Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes, very clear, Dr. Richard.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning, Miss Azalia, and good morning, Professor John Fung. Yeah, as one of our honorable speakers as well. Yeah. Good morning, Prof. And I would like to greet also everyone, every participants here. Yeah. So. Yeah, today's topic, we are going to discuss about the power of science and technology in business performance when natural science meets social science. So I would like to share the screen. Yeah, Miss Acha, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen, Pak.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I would like to discuss a little bit about my background. Yeah, so I am actually a pure science, yeah, pure natural science. I am biomedicine and virology. That is my primary background. But I have dealt with many companies, especially in the healthcare and cosmetic, skin, anti-aging companies. So along the way of dealing this, we also see that some elements from the social science are very important, and that shapes, yeah, together to contribute to the business performance and how we are able to bridge, yeah, what we have discovered on our lab bench up to the community. Right, along the way we will see that there are different expectation and a lot of different things that we need to communicate so that we are able to convey each other message effectively. Right. Yeah, now if we are looking at the very simplistic concept, yeah, human knowledge, yeah, is basically being divided to natural science and social science. Right, natural is how we describe about our surrounding, our environments, right, and ourselves, right? But social science is more towards human to human interaction. Yeah, so that is the simple way to describe the difference between natural science and social science. Right, and if we are looking at that, yeah, natural science and social science, however, we can see that there are difference in how they operate. Yeah, so for example, in natural science, data I find is preferably communicated, yeah, in the forms of an exact number. Yeah, while social science is communicating in the continuous text, yeah, whether you describe, yeah, or whether you are forming the text so that you can pictures of what's happening to the surrounding. Yeah, the semantics is also different. Yeah, the values are different, and the expected output we can see here. Yeah, we are focusing on this part. Yeah, emphasis on a clear result in the form of numbers, fact, and general rules. Yeah, social science is emphasis on differentiated analysis of mechanism and patterns, discussing several perspectives. Yeah, you can see the exact and perspective. Yeah, why we need this both? Yeah, natural science, yeah, basically many products. Yeah, if we can look here, there are many products, yeah, many technologies that are being materialized by the natural science. But we need to remember, yeah, we need to remember the ultimate user, the one who get the benefit in the end are human. Yeah, that is number one, right? Number two, yeah, we need to remember number two, the operational, yeah, the operation to get the primary research, yeah, to the end part are the interaction among humans. We need to remember these two things. Yeah, so we will need absolutely to implement the social science inside, because remember, we are not lone creature. We are social creatures. Yeah, we are social creatures. We need to look at things in the more holistic scales. Yeah, so what I can see here, yeah, what we together can see here, yeah, there are many growth driver in the technological industries, right? If we look at the simple model, yeah, very simple model. So the research, okay, you develop your product. Yeah? It could be the healthcare products. It can be the biotechnological products. It can be the electronics. It can be like services, like application. It can be food innovation. It can be anything, yeah, which must be developed initially in the lab, right? Or in the more controlled settings, right? Innovation and everything. Yeah, then after all the inventions, discoveries, innovations, right, and the product are there, then you need to bring this so that it is actually conveyed for the mass production scale, where you can distribute the result, yeah, to the people. Yeah, so this is the simple model first. Yeah, so this is how we picture. This is how we pictures. All right. Yeah, now, yeah, so these are the more detailed process. Yeah, so they are basics, research and concept. Yeah, and then they are feasibility research, technological development, technological demonstration and commissioning, right? And then in the end, you will convey to the final part, which is to deployment. Yeah, in this case, it's a commercialization. Yeah, basic research. Yeah, we have like, for example, the net. Yeah, I mean, like in this case, in this type of webinar, we are focusing more towards the science, the natural science part. We are creating products, right? We are creating products. Okay, yeah, maybe the drugs. Yeah, the drugs, for example, the drugs that can cure certain diseases, the products that are able to confer benefits, maybe a cleaning products, right? Or any other benefits, any other type of services, right? So when you discover this, can you directly bring this to commercialization? Of course not. You need to do what we call it the feasibility research, right? You need to see what is the production cost, how many people want it, how do the marketing respond to that, and then what are the consensus among each party so that we can upscale this and bring it forward to the next step, right? Which requires the technological development. Remember, when you are in the lab, you are in the very small scale, you can put in a lot of the parameters to control all of those. It is easy to control the lab settings. But when you arrive, yeah, towards the larger scale, yeah, there are a lot more elements, a lot more people involved. You know, when you are dealing with a lot more people, yeah, you need to compromise on much more things. Yeah, and then afterwards, you are rising up, yeah, after all of the stages have been passed, right? You will reach into technology demonstration and commissioning. Remember, now you are dealing with even larger scale. Of course, you need to do a validation and assessment and optimization. Remember, because when it is like when you cook, let's say you create a fried rice. Yeah, when you make only a small plate of fried rice, it is easy for you to manipulate the taste, yeah, the texture of the rice, the color, putting how many soy sauce, how much soy sauce that you need to put in, right? It is easily controlled. But imagine on how you are going to control if that one plate, yeah, becoming 10 huge pans of fried rice. that feeds 1,000 people. Now, all of these elements are becoming more difficult to control. That is one of them, the technological barrier. You must also think, sometimes to provide a big pen, you require a bigger room, you require a bigger cooking apparatus, bigger kitchen, bigger stove, right? Bigger fire, bigger energy. You must upscale all of those. And you may even need more people because preparing one plate, you just scoop. But when you have 1,000 plates, sometimes you need to create a new system so you can cook, you can scoop all of the rice effectively. It's different from scooping only one plate of rice. So you need this process. We need to think about this more carefully. This is the part where the downstream, we call it here, or the downstream part, need to be taken care of. So it is, we need to pay attention to all of these. And then when all of the process has been processed smoothly, then we are able to deploy them, right? So let us create a illustration, a simple typical academia and industry interaction. You know what happened? Usually a researcher have a very idealistic way of thinking, and their focus is to create research, to create to get the result of his or her research so that it has the highest efficiency, highest performance, right? Highest parameter. In healthcare, for example, I want to create a COVID drug that can kill virus, let's say in 10 hours. Very ideal condition. That is the target. In this case, maybe I'll create the scenario. Okay, I want to create a car that can fly for 3 hours nonstop. Yes, everyone is happy. Yes, we'll get rich. Wow. This invention is a very revolutionary. We are very groundbreaking, and it will help a lot of people, right? So that is the mindset of an academia. It is a mindset of a researcher, right? But when you bring it to the next level, the industry will ask, right, your idea sounds good. May we ask what is the production cost? Okay, since this is a control lab settings, everything, we don't really think about the price, so it's a $3 million. Hang on a second. When you look at this, we will enter the feasibility research. Who will buy a car? Although it can fly, who will buy for $3 million? Only a handful of people can buy. And then to put in fuel and maintenance of the car, let's say it costs $1,000 per hour. Who wants to buy that? People will not be able to afford it. And then our current policy system, the policy system, like the traffics, on how we are managing the transportation are not geared toward the government policy are not geared towards the car that can fly. So we are not able to cater the needs. It is not feasible. So can you change your research a little bit? Right? Then the academia, right? I mean, like the researcher, of course, they need to change. Okay, right. You are always thinking about profits, but you do not see how our products can help solving the problems. So you can see here, there are discrepancies. In these very simplistic scenarios, what we are able to see is that there are discrepancies between this kind of model. They are a discord, yeah, which is marked by this red cross. Yeah, they are discord because in order for people to collaborate, they need to understand each other needs and challenges. Yeah, this is a very typical it is a very typical hurdle. Yeah, very typical hurdle. So we need to identify what is happening. Yeah, so example of the obstacle, who will fund the research? Yeah, this is one of the biggest gap. Yeah, this is the biggest gap that is being seen, yeah, as one of the reluctance of the industry. This is just one of the examples, right? So when you are talking about technology, especially in the healthcare settings, we will have this, what we call it, the funding gap, right? The funding gap here, yeah, that is the part where you need to burn funding. You need to drain the resources, yeah, in order for the investors. Yeah, investors may not be interested on how, you know, how sparkly, how spectacular a technology is. What they think, yeah, is how they can generate profit. In order to look at that, they will look at what we call it, yeah, and a step where there will be a huge amount of investment, the valley of death. Yeah, this is the valley of death that all of the investors must go through. Yeah, the industry people also must go through. If you look at the previous news, yeah, a lot of startups are collapsing right now. They are laying off workers. They are doing what we call it efficiencies, or some of them even file for bankruptcy. Yeah, what happened is that they do not anticipate this. Yeah, we need to have a proper planning so that we can anticipate this. But again, and then again, yeah, we need to understand there are human interaction inside. We need to understand the community inside that bring this forward, and our end users, because we are all human. We need to understand all of this. Yeah, scientists, although I understand you are in the natural science group, you also need to put emphasis on the social science. How to manage expectation of other parties. Yeah, these are the parts where we need to compromise. Yeah, so when we look at this process, yeah, these are models. Yeah, they are barriers. What we call it is a barrier in commercialization. They are barriers. Yeah, because we are dwelling too much on our idealistic mind and how we are, you know, we are brought about how, what kind of result that we are chasing for. Yeah. But remember this, yeah, this, the actor here, yeah, all of the actor that you see on the screen, yeah, they have different goals. We need to match up goals first so that we have the same views of everything. Then every parties involved will be more willing to cooperate. Yeah, so there are several barriers that has been identified: internal barrier, organizational barrier, and environmental barriers. Yeah, so we need to identify all of these actors. Yeah, so the academicians, of course, these are the knowledge centers where they produce all the knowledge, where they produce all of the innovations, discoveries, invention, and etc. Right, so these are the we call it the upstream part, the hulu part. Yeah, in Indonesia it's hulu, and this is the upstream part. right? And then you need to bring it out, yeah, the industry. They are the generator of economics. Remember, research require funding. Yeah, research require resources. Who else can provide the resources? Of course, yeah, some of the major contributor is the industry and the government. Yeah, usually, I mean, like when we look at how the instructors, yeah, all the faculty members operate, yeah, you are looking at they are writing for grants, yeah, in the government's grants, Dikti, LPDP, and then grant for industries, right? That shows that they require funding. We need a generator for that. Yeah, all of the funding does not come out from the thin air, right? And then the government, yeah, what they desire is that, yeah, the country system is operating smoothly. So they are creating the conducive condition by policy making, right? And in the end, the society is the end user. They are the one who will benefit, and in the end, they will contribute by giving um, compensation, yeah, in the form usually in the form of a payment, yeah, of the product and services. Yeah, these are the actors. Yeah, these are the actors. So if we want to identify the barriers, if we to understand, yeah, how to tackle this problem, is to look at the actors. As we mentioned before, these are basically interaction among human beings, right? Now let us go through, yeah, this like organizational barrier. Yeah, we are talking about the structural system, and now I mean, like, since we are here in a university setting, maybe I will focus more on the university setting. Yeah, so the organizational barrier here, right, is the structural system in the research center universities that impede the commercialization process and incubation process, so that the structural are usually being filled by people, right? Usually when we look at typical universities, right, we are the chaser of knowledge. Yeah, we are chaser of knowledge. We are geared toward getting all of the research and publication. All of the organizational structures, right, are focused primarily on getting research and publication, not so much on the commercialization and downstreaming, right? According to Farsi et al. Yeah. So these are the problem here. Yeah. Usually when we look at the structures here, the involvement of unit with business and management, yeah, in the natural science type settings is not central, and they are not common. Yeah, so these are the organizational barrier. I mean, like when we look down further, right? Usually, what happened when the business development and commercialization are not central, we can see that are inefficiency of the research center commercialization units. Yeah, one of the important part is what we call it technology transfer. Technology transfer means that how you convey all of the invention in the workshop, in the laboratory, in the visual, yeah, sketch, design, yeah, to its full realization. This is what we call it technological transfer. Yeah. So what has been identified is inefficiency or university research center commercialization structures. Yeah. physical substructure, technical support, allocated resources, because they are not central. Yeah, of course, it can be understandable. Yeah, and then also we can see, yeah, they are, yeah, lacking on the process also. Yeah, because usually what happened is that, yeah, the researchers does not, yeah, are not really interested in the process part. Okay, you do your part. Yeah, the marketing, the consumer behavior, the social media, and etc. Okay, I'm not interested. I'm only interested in studying the molecular pathway of the drug discovery. I don't really care about how the market respond. It is your job, not my job. Yeah, right? So they are inefficiency. Yeah. And then also sometimes they are patent transfer, which also becoming a lot of problems. Okay, I discovered this. Why should I give my benefit to you? You are only helping me. Yeah, so these are the mindset of researcher. Right? These are some of the examples that you see. Yeah, and then you look at the market. Yeah. A lot of the natural scientists are very, I would say, blind to how the market operates. Yeah, it is very different from the idea, yeah, quote idealistic world. Yeah, the market may respond differently. They may not be interested, yeah, on the result of how fast the drug can cure. For example, yeah, you are discovering a drug that can cure gastric pain, yeah, sakit mah, yeah, gastric pain within 4 minutes, but the cost is 100,000 per pill. I think people will be more in, people tend to buy, right, the puyer that costs 5,000 rupiah, although it can eliminate the gastric pain in 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour, 5,000 makes sense. Yes, 4 minutes disappear, but I need to pay 100,000. I need to pay much more. Why? I'm not interested in the increased performance, right? But yeah, we are more concerned about the pricing. Some others are more concerned about other aspects. What we call it is a consumer behavior. They sometimes they are not looking at all of the parameters. They are looking at the trends. Yeah, the influencer trends. Who are using what type of product? Which celebrity use that? Then everyone will follow. Yeah, so it depends on many of these things. That's why we need the social science. Yeah, so they are, yeah, lacking to understand each other, yeah, causes all of the problems to start building up. Yeah, that's why we found the organizational barrier, right? And then lack of proper background. Yeah, because I mean a researcher in um many of the settings, also the scientists also are not equipped, yeah, of course, are not equipped with entrepreneurial mindset, entrepreneurial program, and they are not, I will say that they have a very, very minimal exposure to knowledge and skill that are in, that can be used in the business and marketing settings. In fact, they are nothing at all. Yeah, if we do not have this, then all of these researchers do not have the feel. If we do not have the feel, we do not understand the other parties. We do not understand the human interactions. Yeah, and then actually these are one of the factor. I3L have IBS. Yeah, ISB. Yeah, we have ISB. We have MBM. Yeah, muscle biomanagement. Yeah, because we need to consolidate all of this. Yeah, to bridge natural and social science, so we get the feel. Yeah, so we see that the proper background is important here, yeah, for a more successful bridging to the business success. Yeah, and then there are management incompetency. You know that university are usually, let's say, fakultas keilmuan, school of science. Usually they will be filled with people with pure natural science background. So if you are looking at that, yeah, again, as what we have learned previously about the organizational barrier, right? They are more towards accelerating research. They do not see the BDC part, the business development center part. Yeah. And then it will affect the bureaucracy, it will affect the management also and the support. Yeah, this is what has been identified, yeah, in many universities. Yeah, and then also the evaluators, yeah, and then incompetent expert system. Yes, the expert system only see according to the discipline that they are familiar. Let's say you are developing a drug, then it will be the biomedical scientist. There will be no marketing people, right? Consumer behaviorist. Yeah, I don't think they will assess your product. For sure, the one who assess your product will be the biomedical scientist. Then we create the organizational barrier. Right? And then, yeah, researchers are usually rewarded also. I mean, like incentive structures, usually they are rewarded towards how many publications and the quality of the publications, but not the success of commercializations. The result, yeah, the researchers does not really care whether their product can be commercialized or not. It can create economic value. What they do is, okay, I publish in the Q1 research paper, or I can enter the science paper or Nature, very prestigious journal, and that's it. Yeah, whether they can be implemented in commercialization or not, that will be none of my concern. Yeah, let the industry approach me, but I publish Nature. Yeah, so these incentive structures, yeah, create a sense of apathy to the scientists in terms of commercializing their products or engaging other parties so that we can bring this to commercialization. Yeah, so this structure we must pay attention upon. Yeah, and then, yeah, they are the second barrier, which we call it the internal barrier. Yeah, this internal barrier is a human resource, financial, or operational aspects. Yeah, so this is the system where you bridge all from the upstream to the downstream. Yeah, which is the hulu ke hilir, yeah, in Indonesian. Yeah, so the allocated resources are decided based on outputs in research outputs. Yeah, research outputs. Right? They don't really care about how many money generated, etc. Yeah, so the research output will attract more grants. Yeah, so that is the mindset. Yeah, although of course the grant, yeah, will determine the quality of the research, yeah, the significant impact of the research, but I think commercialization may not be their first priority. Yeah, so there are many barriers, like for example financial barriers. Yeah, so usually the researchers relies more towards a government provided fund. Yeah, especially the private universities. Yeah, usually the allocated budget for research. Yeah, so they are very minimum. Yeah, so we have the reliance on other bodies. So in order to see that, okay, yeah, we don't have this industry to support us. Yeah, okay, then I just create high impact journals and as high impact research, etc. But for the commercialization, probably can wait. Yeah, so it creates this. Yeah, so this is linked to the lack of incentive to commercialization for these financial barriers. Yeah, and then the skill labor barriers, yeah, the internal barriers, we are yet to see more researchers that successfully bring this to the commercialization, which is the role models. Yeah, we need to see more of this so that we can learn from that. Yeah, and then also lack of freedom and involvement of researchers to be involved in business activities. Yeah, sometimes I don't, yeah, Sometimes also they are putting a lot of their efforts, a lot of their time and their resources on their research and research alone. Yeah, biomedical scientists put their resource, yeah, on on studying the molecular pathway. They are more interested on studying how the cells respond, the organelles. But when they are presented with, for example, feasibility studies, yeah, the market behavior, market expectation, right, market survey, I tell her, no, 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 this is not my field. Yeah, so it's a lack of freedom involvement. So we need to expand and we need to move out of our comfort zones, and we need to be willing to step out and look at how other important aspect, which is other human being operates. Yeah, we also need to see this. Yeah, and then if you look also, yeah, lack of appropriate human resource, lack of awareness. Yeah, we need to look at this as well to protect the intellectual properties. And then also we need to see the expectation of the research center administrators, researchers, business development. We need to combine, we need to talk together. Yeah, so we need to form these better interactions. Yeah, and then communication network barriers. Yeah, usually the one who move around is the business development people. Usually scientists are just there to present about their result. Yeah, the research result, okay, my drug can do this, 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 and that. But they are not really involved much in engaging other parties. Right? So there's a lot of internal barriers, and then the legal barriers are the implementation of laws that are conducive, yeah, for upstream to downstream, and then also intellectual protection laws. Yeah, whether in the university and research center scale or national scale. Yeah, then this is what is common, yeah, normative barrier. This is the mindset. Yeah, I will say it is more towards the mindset. Yeah, no motivation sensing for the commercialization of knowledge and different value system. If a researcher are talking about how they will get rich of selling this product, I think they will be frowned upon by other researchers. Ooh, yeah, you are so money oriented. You are not pure anymore. Yeah, you are not research and publication, so it brings a negative impression. That is why researchers tends to have no motivation or sensing the need to commercialize knowledge. Yeah, because they are different value system. Yeah, entrepreneurial spirits. Yeah, usually like in the school of science, usually they look towards, let's say, the school of business in the not in the good way usually. Ugh. Yeah, I don't like social science people. Yeah, we are more, yeah, usually, right, I mean, like, this is how the parents, yeah, the baby boomer generation, yeah, people who study natural science, yeah, IPA IPS, you remember, orang pintar masuk IPA, orang yang biasa-biasa masuk IPS. That is the concept that brings the negative impression that the social science people are less intelligent than the natural science people. Yeah, it is the upbringing, the common upbringing by the previous generations. And this is also create a normative barrier that you need to break through. Yeah, so if you look at this a lot of things. Yeah, okay, and then also you see universities. Okay, you are not industries, you should educate people, you should produce knowledge. So they are believe about university being non-profitable and to publish research instead of preserving them for commercialization use. Yeah, the reward system, the value system are towards non-profitable way. Yeah, this is the belief. Yeah, that is the nature. Yeah, and then towards the entrepreneurship, okay, yeah, it is not naturally thought upon. Yeah, entrepreneurship towards scientists. So they have they will struggle. Yeah, they will have this concept. Yeah, they will have a difficult to grasp this concept of entrepreneurship also. Yeah, and negative image of business in the eye of researchers. Yeah, this is very much common, right? And then finally, environmental barrier. Yeah, this is the, the what creates the ambience, yeah, the environment, yeah, business, political, socio-cultural aspects. Yeah, from the ideal or non-ideal that are influenced by the external. Yeah, we call it external factors. Yeah, lack of marketing concept. Yeah, in the business development. So the condition they are formed in these business development centers. Yeah, for example, the lack of scaling a product, understanding the needs and priorities, yeah, poor quality and etc. Right, meeting the market needs and etc. So we need to yeah, look at this, yeah, concept. Yeah, remember when you are building the BDC, right? When they are not filled by the correct people, yeah, it create, yeah, a not ideal environment. Yeah, lack of marketing concept. Yeah, and then there are socio-political barrier, yeah, political constraint, yeah, negotiation, technology transfer, the law and regulation, yeah, what is the government policy about this? Yeah, and then also if we look, some technologies are preferred over the others. Yeah, socio-political barriers. So when you are studying niche type of technologies, yeah, you may be put on the disadvantage, and then the chance for you to get commercialized will also be reduced. And in the end, yeah, you are not interested to pursue commercialization anymore. Yeah, so these are the socio-political barrier. Yeah, all right. And then the communication and network barrier, yeah, and industrial barrier. Yeah, so failure to identify companies, yeah, the industries, different cultures. Yeah, when you engage different cultures, you create, yeah, it does not create a good environmental barrier. Yeah, and then the motivation towards profitability, the research publication. Yeah, this is also the industrial barrier that creates a not ideal environments. Yeah, full protection rights. Yeah, project timing. If you look at the valley of death in the earlier slide, that also contributes to the project timing and not matching the expectation of the university, research centers, and industries. Yeah. So after we are looking at this, all of these factors, right? It comes to a very, yeah, if you want to name it in a very simple way of proposing solution, right? It is actually about understanding each other and communicate what are your desire, challenges, and expectation. Yeah, so we need to bridge this. Yeah, we need to bridge this expectation. Yeah, so we look at these actors, yeah, who are contributing on what, sitting down together, create a system that caters to all the needs. Yeah, the natural science people, the social science people, yeah, which are all in this condition, they need to sit down together. Yeah, that is of course the simple solution. Yeah, because we are human. Yeah, social be, yeah, everything can be talked about. Yeah, but sorry. Yeah, if we look at this, right, we can see that 4 players, they should be intertwined together. They should interact. If you look at the picture, this is the quadruple helix. Yeah, they are of course called a quintuple helix that creates what we call it scientific economy. yeah, to create an system. Yeah, so this quadruple helix system is you need to recognize four major actors, yeah, academician, industry, government, and society. So you sit by sitting down together in form of quadruple helixes provide the ideal desirable productive form, yeah, and more extensive opportunities to introduce scientific technological consideration as part of bi-directional exchange, yeah, up to the academia from society. So when we look at this interaction, yeah, so you see that they are no matching part yet, right? And then, yeah, the government, when they look at this, right, they need to facilitate the discussion. How the academia can compromise based on their performance. Let's say, okay, maybe I do not need to create the car that can fly. Yeah, maybe I can create a car that can hover a little bit, for example, so that they can be a reduced chance to do a traffic jam, right? When you are creating the car that hovers rather than the car that flies, of course, the production cost will reduce. The maintenance will reduce. Look at the industry. Okay, if we reduce this profile to this level, can you accommodate? Do you think the market what we want? Right? Okay, then government will create the condition, create the policy that facilitate both parties. Create a law that protect both parties to ensure the interaction have gone smoothly. Yeah, then in the end, the society, right, when you look at these models, right, actually this is what they want. We just care for cars that are fuel efficient, cheap to maintain and hassle free. Remember, they are the end users. These are the marketing behavior. Yeah, so that each of the participating parties will, we will need to look and understand towards each other and create this quadruple helix model system for better bridging. Yeah, if you look, right, four of these are interacting with each other, creating macro and micro dynamics. Yeah, of course, but this one is the open innovations, yeah, concept. But I think they will hold true also when you want to bridge natural and social science for better business development. We need to sit together. Industry, university, society, and government, they will contribute and understand and compromise among each other. Yeah, industry, you need to do exploration, outside in, inside out exploitation, right? Small and medium enterprise alliance and development. So we know, okay, what is the profit that makes sense? What is the projected business growth that makes sense? And then you talk to the university. Okay, I want this type of profit sharing. This is the timeline. I do not want too much value of death. I want to this type of commercialization. I want a market acceptance on this much. Okay, now how do you create your car, your drug, and every type of products? Then they do the scientific research. Okay, to reach the expectation, the scientific that I can produce is this much, these efficacies, this performance. The machine that create this, how many watts, how many efficiency, yeah, what is the efficiency of this, right? Scientific research, knowledge transfer, co-creation, right? And at the same time, familiarize the scientists with entrepreneurial concept so that they can outreach other parties effectively. Yeah, government, yeah, of course, everyone knows, yeah, regulation standard, uh, collaboration, initiating the innovation, yeah, protection, and etc. And society, they can do the crowdsourcing, yeah, to engage them, participate. Yeah, citizens should also communicate what they want. Yeah, so that the industry, university, government can facilitate. Yeah, usually we can get this through a social media survey, yeah, and etc. Then for them, we will create sustainability. Yeah, so this is a simple way to connect. Yeah, so the important part, yeah, basically when you look at the point, the main point that very simple is to know each party desires, challenges, and way of operating, and understand we need each other. No one is superior, no one is more important than the others, of course. Yeah, there's the important part, and we bridge this by understanding. Yeah, if the research requires the desire of recognition, yeah, publication in journal, yeah, Nobel Prize, etc., it is the recognition, and the other one is profit. How you can bridge and compromise between these two? Yeah, that is the point. Right? Okay, so that is the take-home message from me. Yeah, so these are the references that I take. Yeah, so thank you for your participation about the talk. Yeah, I will return this back to Miss Acha to continue how we are giving the examples, yeah, by Professor John. Yeah, okay, Miss Acha. Okay, I'll return this back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Parichart, for the explanations. Hopefully, all the participants is understands what we talk about and have new insights from this. Okay, and then we will move on to the next presenter, Dr. John Fung. Dr. John Fung, the time is yours. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good
Morning,
morning,
Prof.
Doctor.
I've been listening intently, Dr. Richard,
Thank you, Prof.
and I felt that, wow, this was an entire semester of work, an entire semester of knowledge. And
Thanks,
I
Prof.
hope the participants were able to absorb all that valuable information. That indeed, in commercializing a product, there are many, many steps to go through. And this is the way that the master students in biomanagement in I3L interact with the industry. So indeed, the students are getting a big bang for the buck. What it
Yes,
means
Prof.
is value for money, all right?
Yes,
But
Prof.
in English, we call it a bang for the buck. That means for every dollar, it is worth it.
Yes.
And right now on a Saturday, it is free of charge for you to learn, is even a double bonus for you. Okay, so therefore, this morning's session, I want to share where natural science meets social science. Yeah. And I think it's important to take note. And one of the important things, therefore, for natural science to make our social science, we have to look towards a grand global goal, which they call Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes.
And I will show you what it is. Okay, so please don't leave this lecture as I'm switching over the screen. Well, I certainly hope that you see what I see on the screen.
Yes, you can see it clearly, Prof.
All right, sure, you can see Dr. Richard there. That's the most important. And if you look at the 3 books that I've written, which is Entrepreneurship in Technology for ASEAN, that is how science and technology moves into entrepreneurship. Another book is called Smart Technologies for Smart Nations. Why? Why not call it Smart Technologies for Smart Lab Technicians? No, it is not. Natural science is more than laboratory work. So I call it Smart Technologies for Smart Nations. That means to build a nation. To build a strong nation, you need strong science and technology. The other book, which is very popular and very hot selling book is Emerging Technologies for Emerging Markets. And this book talks about three things: how science and technology influence health, kesehatan, how science and technology applies to health. Second, how science and technology applies to finance, keuangan. The third is that how science and technology applies to education. So therefore, I always come up with the three slogans. Some people call it slogans, some people call it bylines. And it is, can we have kesehatan tanpa hospital? Can we have pendidikan tanpa sekolah? Excuse me. And can we have perbankan tanpa bank? Because what happens if we don't have hospital? Does it mean people don't have health? No, because science and technology can bring healthy solutions to people, whether there's hospital or not. All right. Financial services can be brought to people, whether they're banks or not. Of course, don't tell the banks that, nanti mereka cemburu. Okay. Then can we have pendidikan tanpa sekolah, without schools? Because in some areas there are no schools. When COVID-19, there were no schools during COVID-19. How did people study? So this makes use of science and technology, where natural science will have to meet the needs of social science. Let me introduce the goal of sustainable development to you. Many of you may not have seen this, but I'll tell you what they are. Number one is to reduce poverty. Number two is to reduce hunger, kelaparan. Number three, you look, is very important. How to have good health and well-being. Bagaimana caranya bisa mengembangkan kesehatan. Yeah. Number four is education. Pendidikan. How science can move into resolving poverty. Bagaimana caranya natural science bisa membantu mengurangkan kemiskinan, mengurangkan kelaparan. And of course, to bring well-being and health, and to improve education, memperbaiki pendidikan, gender equality, cleaner water and sanitation, clean water and sanitation.
I'm sorry, Prof, for the interruption. There's some participants say the presentation is freezing.
Freezing.
Yeah, it doesn't move.
It hasn't moved. I haven't moved it. Can they see this move?
Not yet, Prof.
Oh, this is very strange.
Maybe we can start over. Yeah, it's already moved. It's already moved.
Okay, it has already moved. I know what I'm going to do next. All right.
Okay.
So therefore, you have science to resolve, mengurangkan kemiskinan, kelaparan, memperbaiki, mengembangkan kesehatan, memperbaiki kualitas education, pendidikan, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, energy, how science can move to improve energy. Right now, we have to pay for a lot of electricity Maybe we could use more wind power. Maybe we use more solar power. Yeah. How science and technology can improve economic growth. Industry, that's what Dr. Richard was talking about. Decent work, economic growth, industry. Reduce inequality. This is a social science problem. This is a masalah social, masyarakat. Tapi bagaimana caranya dengan sains kita mengurangkan or to bring better equality. Okay. If you look at 13, climate action, you need lots of natural science now to help overcome the problems of climate action. All right. So I'm going to show you in my next slide how natural science we can help to bring health, which is a social problem. Whether we have a good mental health, whether we have a good physical health, how do we use science? Is just not by taking obat alone. Before taking obat, you must have diagnosis. You must be diagnosed, okay? So, this is one of the inventions that I have together with a group of scientists. And I'm not a life science person. Others were life science persons, and they moved to solve a social problem. I'm a social science person, so I have a social science problem, but I moved towards life science to help solve the social problem. Okay, so kita ada dua grup di sini, the inventors, orang yang scientist, ya. Yeah. Mereka mau mencari masalah masyarakat. Tapi saya ada problem masyarakat, saya mencari saintisnya untuk solusi. All right, so we met together and we talked. Let me tell you the social science problem first. There were many people, there still are many people that do not have access to proper health care. Mereka tidak ada channel, ya, untuk mendiagnosa sendiri sakit atau tidak. Why? One reason is that mereka duduk jauh dari kota. Maybe they live in remote communities. Maybe somewhere in Papua. All right. My experiment was done in Bangladesh. In the villages in Bangladesh where they are far away from the hospital, and there were no puskesmas in there. I hope you know what puskesmas is. You're in Indonesia. You should know Pusat Kesehatan Masyarakat. Okay. There were none in there. So we have a lot of people having flu, maybe COVID, we don't know, pneumonia, bronchitis. So this invention was first thought of how to resolve this problem. Bagaimana caranya kita bisa membantu orang yang jauh dari kota, kalau ada health problem, bisa diagnosa sendiri, tanpa hospital, tanpa puskesmas. And so, we put it in it's not an app, okay? In a mobile phone solution. Mobile phone solution. Not an app, because they're far away. There's no signal. Tidak ada Wi-Fi. So don't think that, oh, this is Hello Doc. No, you cannot have Hello Doc there. Okay? There's no doctor to say hello to you because there's no Wi-Fi. So what do we do? So we have got to let the people cough into the phone, membatuk. Like you're talking to the phone, instead of talking, you cough in the phone, you record it. Recommend. You record it, and then you press the send signal, like you send any recording via SMS. SMS. You send the recording to somewhere where we keep a large database. Okay? And from the database, we use technology and science to analyze the pattern of the cough. When you cough, you will go, all right? So we match the pattern of the cough. In the database, we have millions and millions of cough. Orang yang sakit dengan bronchitis, pneumonia, kemungkinan COVID-19, ya, ordinary flu, dan ordinary batuk, ya, semuanya kita ada, and your cough, kita perbanding, compare to the millions of orang yang ada sakit, okay? And we compare mirip atau tidak. Kalau your cough pattern mirip dengan seorang yang penyakit, ya, yang ada pneumonia, then we say you are maybe suspected of having pneumonia. All right, so
John Fung, I'm so sorry. The slide is start freezing again.
not going again. Now it's moving again.
Yeah, it's already moving again.
Okay. Now it's moving. All right. So therefore, this cough pattern, especially for children, is very important. Untuk anak-anak. Because the kanak-kanak cannot tell you that they are sick. So sometimes you just have to bring the phone to them and let them breathe into the phone. Bernafas. Yeah. Atau menangis into the phone. And we collect this signal. And we compare this signal to other children who are crying and coughing. And from there, we diagnose. We diagnose the sound of the crying, the sound of the coughing. From there, a signal will, a response message will come back to the phone to say, you have either bronchitis, pneumonia, COVID-19, something that's undetected or is normal. At least you have a preliminary diagnosis. If not, the child is not treated or the person is not treated, the person may die. Okay. They have a pre-reading of the situation, and then they can decide whether they want to go to the doctor. Kemungkinan mereka harus ya menurun dari gunung ke kota satu hari, ya. And they have a lot of time, and you need a lot of time to move from the mountains to the hospital. And therefore, if it is a normal cough, it should be okay. So you don't need to spend the time and the money. Otherwise, you have wasted the time and the money. So we conducted this in Bangladesh. And we found that is 98.9% accuracy. 98.9% accuracy. And this research, the DANA-E, is funded by Bill Gates Foundation. All right, so there is a number in there. The number DANA is given there, OPP 1032125. So if you go to the Gates Foundation and check, you will find this invention in there. Did we commercialize this invention? Belum. We have not commercialized this invention yet, because we are still building up the database to make it more robust and more stronger, okay? And see what other things that can be done with it. And of course, we have COVID-19. So COVID-19 now becomes an important part of this research. Why? Because COVID-19 also have cough. So a lot of people are taking this to test whether it's possible to test for early diagnosis of COVID-19. Now, this is a real case. It is not a theory. This is a real case. It's funded, it's done. In fact, if you go to the Google now, you go to Google, you type in my name, Dr. John Fung, Dr. John Fung, breathing analysis, breathing analysis. You download the paper, you can read about it, okay? You just download the paper and you can read about it. I hope many of you will go to the Google and download the paper. It's free of charge. You don't have to pay for it, but I want you to know how natural science can meet the problems of social science. Science is not just about working in a laboratory. Science is not just working in an engineering room. It's not sitting down in a nice office environment and you think that's science. No. You can bring science to the village. You can bring science to communities. Yeah. You can bring science to anywhere, even though the place is not easily reachable. And I want you to think about this. All right. If you got any questions, please post it. I'm going to my next slide now. My next slide is again a social problem. But this social problem has something to do with medical. There are some people who have a face problem. When you take your selfie, sometimes you don't look beautiful. Sometimes you don't look handsome. And you think something wrong with the phone and you change the iPhone, right? Actually, if your face is not looking so handsome and not beautiful, maybe there is a disorder in your face. Maybe there is a problem with the nerve in your face. Nervosa, yeah, a nervous system disorder. And this nervous system disorder has been analyzed by two doctors. They are called Dr. House and Dr. Brackman. So today is called the House-Brackman scoring system. House-Brackman scoring system. These are scientists, okay? Now, so it became, as they look at the face, they look at it and they say, hey, the face disorder is, then they call it a Bell palsy syndrome. Bell palsy syndrome. So they discovered something. by looking observation, and they look at it, they say this is a Bell palsy syndrome. However, what about if masyarakat di bawah atau tidak ada wang, ya, go to see the doctor? They know something is wrong, or they suspect something is wrong. They have no money to see the doctor. They're too far to see the doctor. There's no expertise in looking at the face, except beautician. Beautician makes you look more beautiful, but they don't solve the problem of your face. All right? So sometimes we think that there's a nervous disorder in our face, and we go and see the beautician. Beautician cannot solve this problem. All right, so what do? We have a problem. So therefore, again, because everybody have a mobile phone and everybody likes to take selfie. Okay, so we ask people to take a selfie of your own face, and you send the face to us, the picture of the face. And from your face, we analyze again into 1 million of people who have problems with the face. And we diagnose what happened with your face. Is something wrong, whether there is an actual medical problem. It's not that you have eaten too much of a kind of food or your allergy. It may be more than that. So we help people to diagnose the facial problem based on the House-Bregman score. Again, this is a natural science meeting the problem of social science. Okay, so we bring this diagnosis instrument using a mobile phone, which is no cost. There's no cost. You don't need to go to a hospital. You diagnose whether you have a problem before you go to the hospital. All right. So this is another experiment that is being published. And a lot of people have read it. People from the natural science have read this. And it's called Profiling Bell Palsy based on House-Bregman score. If you go into Google, you type my name again, Dr. John Fung, facial analysis, you will find this article and you can download it and read. The people who came together to do this were scientists from a few universities. For example, the University of Melbourne, Australia, and even from the University of California, Davis, to do this together, all right, with the universities in Australia. Okay, so I want you to go and look at this and think again that to solve a social problem, we need the life science problem to do it. Yep, we need the life science solution to meet the social problem. Okay, so natural science meets the needs of social science. I have another project that is very unique. And this is done in Singapore. The inventor is in Singapore. And he has invented a 3 kilo. A 3 kilo is very light. 3 kilo you can carry around like a water bottle. In fact, it is a water bottle. So it is like a bicycle pump and a water bottle combined, but it is a filter. It has a filter. So you can pour dirty water into it and they come out clean water. And it is the filter is certified with the Singapore standard, and is a membrane technology. And what it does is that it's a simple, portable, durable, affordable water filtration solution. So what does it, what really happens in here is this is very good for going camping, very good for emergency. If it's a flood, if there's a landslide, yeah, tanah lunsur, they call it, okay, landslide, flood, banjir, what will people drink? Because you can't drink the tap water anymore when there's banjir. So they take in the water and then filter through the membrane, which is a life science. And it comes out clean water for you to drink. This is very effective, very easy to carry. A water bottle that works like a bicycle pump. Yeah. And there's no electricity involved. So it's ideal for going camping and in terms of humanitarian emergency situations. Again, as I say, it's a social problem. Banjir is a social problem. Tanah lunsur is a social problem. All right, so disaster, all these are social problems, but we need the natural science to help solve the social problem. So sometimes you say that you're a social scientist. Yes, you are. So maybe you need a life science. You need to study life science to solve the social problem, not using social science to solve the problem. All right, so there are many ways to solve the problem. The more perspective you have, the better your solution will be. And my final slide, I don't want you to fall asleep. So I'll show you my final slide. My final slide is about delivering financial services through mobile phone technology for rural Cambodia. Banyak orang di Cambodia, di pinggir, ya, di kampung, mereka tidak ada perbankan di sana. There's no microcredit di sana. There's nobody there except the villagers, petani, nelayan, bicycle repair shops, selling warung-warung, toko-toko. So how do you deliver jasa keuangan to these people? Again, we use mobile technology, but tanpa Wi-Fi. Tanpa Wi-Fi. So I don't want you to think like, oh, this is GoPay. Tidak ada. Oh, this is OVO Pay. Tidak ada. OVO Pay, Gojek. Ada banyak tempat yang tidak bisa pakai mereka. Okay. GoPay, OVO Pay itu bagus untuk kota saja. Let me tell you this. All right. Di kampung tidak ada sama sekali. Yeah. So we have to invent a new kind of payment system that allows people to transact. Yeah, a new kind of payment system to allow people to transact, to allow people to keep money. You cannot be carrying cash around. You might get robbed. Okay, you ada perampok. Yeah, ada kebakaran. You can't simply hide money in the house. All right, you can't simply put into a kantong biscuit, right? Nanti orang mau makan biscuit, dia membawa kantong. So all these things cannot work. You have to have a new solution. Social problem, but we need a scientific solution to a social problem. You are learning science, not because of solving scientific problems only. You are learning science also to solve social problems. All right. So all these I'm showing you, if you type my name and you put some of these things in there, like Dr. John Fung, mobile money in Cambodia, you will find the article. There's actually one more that I made, which is mobile technology to solve farming problems. Yeah. Okay, masalah untuk petani. Bagaimana caranya bisa membantu petani lebih produktif, ya. Okay, and you can find this. All this is free of charge for you to read. And my Vietnam project, membantu petani di Vietnam, this is $1 million project funded by UNDP, okay, and funded by Intel. Yeah, it is 1 juta USD. So these are very big projects. I want to show you the small projects today. All right, so there are many things you can do if you come and study natural science. Therefore, I must say terima kasih and matur nuwun, yeah, to everyone. And I hope you've enjoyed the talk today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. John Fung, for the explanations, and hopefully all the participants get the new insight. Okay, I will start to read the questions from the Q&A, and then for the participant that directly contact me. First, from Dede Arianto, what if the universities run their own research but do not reach the stage of government policy as a domestic power? Name of Dede Arianto. Okay, maybe who will be answer first? Dr. Richard or Dr. John Fung?
Okay, Prof, if I may, Prof.
Sure, please go ahead, Dr. Richard.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. Yeah, so I mean, to address the question, what if universities run their own research but do not reach the stage of government policy? So like this, yeah, I mean, like the government basically do not impede the process, right? So this, I mean, like to initiate the research, right? It is the dynamics among the university, research center, and the industries. Of course, the government does not impede, right? So the dynamics, I mean, I will continue. I am not really understand the meaning about the domestic power, right? I mean, like do not reach the stage, but yeah, as long as you can provide the economic value to the society, to the community, to the people as an end user, yeah, it is still sustainable. Yeah, but of course, it is not prohibited by the government. Yeah, they can run their own research, yeah, as long as they can convey it to the industry, and then when they do the market study, they have economic value that can be used by the society. It can still go on. You know, like for example, the very simple example is you know, a lot of people during the COVID time, they make, you know, like snacks, you know, online food and etc. They do not reach the government policy as the domestic power as well, but still some of them sell very well. Yeah. So in conclusion, right, it is not necessary for us to reach until the government policy, right? As long as we have the university, I mean, like the industrial partners that extensively interact with us to do the commercialization, and they have economic values that interest our end users, then it still can continue. Yeah, this is my answers for that.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Richard, for the answer. Is there any additional answer from Dr. John Fung?
If anybody has research that is not funded, please come and talk to me, because all my research have been funded.
Okay.
All. In my 20 years of doing research, none of my research have not been funded. So if your research is not funded, I think maybe you need to improve
Yes.
your research. There is something in there that is not correct, maybe, yeah, and therefore people don't want to fund it. But as I've said, if you let me look at your research proposal, I will know why it won't be funded or why it can be funded.
Yes.
Thank you.
To continue from Professor John Fung, yeah, Prof. John is a social scientist that are, that can look at the angle where I mean, like professor can see the value, yeah, the value on how to implement the research that are valuable to society, which many of the natural scientists cannot see. Prof, is that right, Prof? Yeah, for example, like yeah, they look at this. Okay, why do I need to breathe? Right? I mean, if we look at the social science side, which is the practicability, and then the ability to reach rural areas, and then the simple usage, then it will bring a lot more economical values.
Yeah.
Right? This is the part where social scientists are very valuable, to collaborate with the natural scientists. That's why professor also can definitely help to bridge this gap. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I hope I can.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. John Fung and Dr. Richard, for the answer. Hopefully, it's help your get your answer, Power Dede Arianto. I will move on to the next question from Yasama Saputra. Good afternoon. Thank you for the webinar, as I like a lot. I like to ask, is it possible for social science students to learn more on natural science to build natural science solutions for the problems? Thank you so much. Who will answer first? Dr. Richard or Dr. John Fong?
Dr. Richard can go first.
Okay.
Yeah, very simple, Prof. Professor John Fung is one of the best example right here, right now, that provides solution, yeah, by learning natural science. This is the best example, Yash, Mr. Yash Ramasaputra. You have seen the example. You see the publication. You see how it brought through. So the answer is absolute yes. We have seen the example right here, right now.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr.
Yeah,
Richard.
I want to add on to Dr. Richard. Definitely, it doesn't matter which science
Yes,
you want to come from, whether
doesn't matter.
it's
Yes,
the natural science or the social science, but you have to identify the problem first. Okay.
yes, yes,
Once you've identified the problem, all right, then you have to reach out to learn the science involved, or you reach out to friends who knows the natural science
yes,
involved, and then tap their brain and see how to use that knowledge into solving that social problem that you have. Okay? So the social scientist needs to understand the methodology of natural science. The social scientist needs to understand the process of the scientists of the natural science. Yeah. And then you can talk to them and find out how to solve your social science problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. John Fong, for the answer. And thank you so much, Dr. Richard, for the answer. So I will start to read the questions from the participants that directly chat me. First from Dewi. Previously, you explained there is barrier between industry and the university. How can we as a person handle that? Is it the same with the concept between demand and supply?
okay.
Okay.
So I think I will answer first. Yeah. Okay, so the demand and supply, right, is the interaction between the society, right? So, and then the demand can be created by interaction of the model that I showed you earlier, the research and commercialization, right? Yes, in the simple way, yes. But the involving parties to create that cycle, right? It needs to be established in the, at minimal, the quadruple helix. Yeah, to create, I mean, like to create the perfect interaction, the ideal interaction, right? Based on the solution, it needs to be in the quadruple helix form. Yes, where all of the four actors must be involved. Yeah, that is the simple answer. Yeah, I hope it answered the questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Richard. Is there any additional answer from Dr. John Fung regarding this?
Yeah.
Definitely. In my Vietnam agriculture project, I had the support from the government of Vietnam. Okay. First of all, I had the support at the highest level, which is the president's office of Vietnam. Right. So they support, they say, if you can make Vietnam from a rice importing country to a rice exporting country, we will give you the letter to support. All right. So I say, President, if you put the trust in me, I will put my life in this project to help Vietnam to grow from a rice importing country to become a rice exporting country. All right. So government was involved. Secondly, was the universities involved? Yes, the universities were involved, but already I have the solution. So I just let them help me to localize the solution, to make it more compatible, lebih cocok untuk masyarakat ya di Vietnam. All right, so universities was involved. Thirdly, was the international agencies involved, like for example, Bank Dunia, UNDP, Intel, all these were involved. The industry, the international community was involved because this is a major project. This is not small. This is for seluruh negara. Membuat mereka sekarang masih importasi beras sampai eksportasi of beras. So they were involved. And of course, the last one is the farmer must be involved. The beneficiary must be involved. Yeah. If they are not involved, then this is not a farming project. So farming project means farmers must be involved. So again, this helix that Dr. Richard was talking about was absolutely 100% correct. So with all this group get together, saya dapat 1 juta dan projek saya menjalan 3 tahun di Vietnam. Di dalam 3 tahun ini, terakhirnya mereka mencapai jadi negara yang ekspor beras. Sampai saat ini, mereka ekspor beras ke Indonesia juga. This is negara yang kecil, ya, tapi dia ekspor beras ke India yang lebih besar dan Indonesia yang lebih besar. So that's why this is a very famous project. You should go and Google it and look at it. Type my name and call it technology for rural Vietnam. You will find it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. John Fung. Okay, we will move on to the next question from Q&A box from Suparman. In Indonesia, there are government policy to synergize academic research and industry interests, which is Kedaireka, collaboration market for innovations, and technology readiness level. What do you think that is appropriate to bring hulu to hilir issue? Okay.
Richard should answer this.
Right. Yeah. So Kedaireka. So Kedaireka is the platform, right? The platform that allows the government to provide grants or to provide space of discussion and implementation between the academia and industry. Whether you say it is appropriate, yes, it is appropriate, but to complete the cycle, yeah, to create the cycle into the fully functional, again, quadruple helix. Yeah, because in Kedareka, we are not engaging the society yet, in my opinion. Yeah, we do not provide a maximum engagement to the society level. The industry sees the value, the university researchers sees the value, the government provide the space for you to discuss. But remember, to create a sustainability, we need 4 actors to be involved equally. So we will do one more step, Mr. Suparman. Yeah, remember to get feedbacks. Remember to look at how it will benefit the people, the society first, so that it will become fully functional. Just like Professor John's application of telemedicine, yeah, Prof, right, from the breathing pattern, the Bell palsy, right? All, yeah, because professors, just now the invention by professors, still are not only looking at the value invention, but how it will benefit and help people, especially people who needs it, who may not be able to afford the conventional way. Right? The problem of the scientists, right? They are so flowery, so spectacular. The industry see a lot of profit, but when it arrives to the community, sometimes they cannot afford it. It is not practical. It cannot be mass produced, and etc. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Richard. Is there any additional answer from Prof. John Fung?
To me, most important is that if there is a government funding for any initiative, the government must be very sensitive that do not let only the government link institutions or government link organizations take this incentive. Ya, jangan hanya orang organisasi dan institusi ada berkaitan dengan pemerintah bisa mendapat dana. That is the most important. Then it allows banyak orang yang di luar yang kemungkinan tidak ada berkaitan dengan ada banyak hubungan bagus dengan pemerintah, masih ada sempat mendapat dana. Is my bahasa Indonesia clear enough?
Very
It's
good,
very
Prof.
clear. It's very clear.
Okay.
Crystal clear, Prof.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. John Fung, for the answer. I think we almost reached the end of the session. I will just read one question again from the participants that directly chat me. Okay, from Bondan, how can we implement the business technology in the rural area compared to their knowledge regarding to the technology? Okay. So maybe there is a gap with the rural area persons regarding the technology and the business technology. Okay, who will answer first, Dr. John Fung or Dr. Richard?
Okay, I will try answer that. So the question is about the implementation in the rural areas.
Yeah.
Right. First, I would say that we need to see what are the challenges, what are the lacking, right, components that the rural areas still struggling on. We fill those gaps, we provide solution, we provide economical value. Yeah, and at the same time, we will adjust it according to the invention that we have. Right? So when it is practical, affordable, doable by the rural area, then they can implement the business technology. I think the example, the 3 examples provided by Professor John really answers this question. Yeah. Maybe Professor John can add But it is very clearly on your slides that you explained so extensively just now, Prof. Yes, to answer this question.
Yeah. One of the important things to solve a social problem, you have to go in there and understand. If possible,
Yes.
you stay there for 2 or 3 bulan, okay?
Yes.
If possible, you stay there for 2 or 3 bulan to really talk with the people, to really go and drink coffee and tea, ya. Bukan cappuccino, ya. Mungkin kopi tubruk di
Yeah.
sana, okay? You harus minum kopi tubruk, kopi liang, okay? You got to drink all those things with them. There's no Starbucks there, okay? So you have to go in there and every day just keep on talking to them. Then you begin to understand what problem they have. Then you must come up with the scientific solution after that. You cannot solve a social problem with a social answer. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're able to do that, but it's not complete. Tidak lengkap. So you have to look at it from all sides. Is it a government thing? Yes, it needs support from the government. This quadruple helix, yeah. Is it an industry thing? Maybe the industry can support, yeah. Is it an academic thing? Yes, maybe. And then the stakeholders, yeah. So I'll give you another example which I did not show in the slide. Saya ke Timur, Tim. Saya tinggal di sana, I think maybe about 3 months. Dan jalan from Atambua right up to Bombonaro, you know what I mean, which is very far away. Yeah. So I've traveled all the provinces, ada berapa provinsi? 13 provinsi di sana. So I've traveled to each of them, talk with the government people, okay? Pemda, pemerintah daerah. So bicara dengan mereka. And then secondly, talk with the mostly nelayan dan petani, mostly, yeah. So then comes the orang biasa. You have to talk with them. And you understand bagaimana caranya mereka bisa membuat kehidupan, ya. Survival. You understand that first. Then you start to design what is the problem of having this to survive in there. Is it selling of coffee? They have coffee too. They have coffee to sell. Is it about fishing? Is it about agriculture? Yeah, if all of them grow cassava and everybody sells cassava, all the cassava will be very cheap. So how do you manage this social problem? Yeah. So you got to think of it first. You must have support dari pemerintah. You have support from the farmer. You have support from Pemda. You have support from the civil society. We don't call it academic there, but civil society. That means the NGOs, yeah, the NGOs di sana. And then after that, we have funding dari UNDP to do a project untuk memperbaiki kehidupan mereka menjadi bisa menjual, ya, di market, menjual buah-buah mereka dan sayur-sayuran ke pasar di kota and sambil eksportasi to Singapore. You must think like that, okay? So, and this needs a scientific solution from productivity right up to export. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. John Fung, for the answer, and thank you so much, Dr. Richard. So first, you need to figure it out, and then you have to have the support from the related stakeholder. Okay, I think this is the end for our session, Dr. John Fung and Dr. Richard.
I have a question for Dr. Richard.
Okay.
Sure, Prof.
You know, one of the things I found out in agriculture, you have a lot of what we call the insects. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, they eat up the plants. In your biomanagement program at I3L, is there any subject on studying about the behavior of insects?
For now, it is not yet, Prof, because biomanagement caters to three primary pillars of life science that we have: healthcare, biotech, and food innovation. But of course, I mean, like in the insect, it falls into biotechnology, Prof. Right?
And
I
it
mean, like
falls into your food
yes,
chain.
the food chain also. I mean, like if they are edible, of course they become the food also, Prof.
Yeah, food securitas, because
Yes.
in my Vietnam project is about using science to detect the attack of the locusts. What do you call it in Bahasa Indonesia? The insects that come and eat up all this.
Probably we call it like biopredators or
No. Bahasa Indonesia, what do you call it? There's a word for it. Somebody taught me before, but I cannot remember.
Okay, I need to look for the word also. So you mean like the
There is a
insect that
word
attack the
for these
locusts?
locust predators, you know, they come and eat up all the crops. There's a Bahasa Indonesia word for it.
You mean the animal's name?
Yeah, it's like a locust or swarm of whatever to come and eat all these things up. You're not farmers, that's why you don't.
Yes, I am biomedical prof. Probably, I mean, like if some of the participant knows about this answer, please feel free to type in. Yeah, this insect that consume locusts, right?
No, that eats up the paddy field and eats up all the things. Like locusts, they come and eat up all the beras, for example.
Is it walang sangit? If I'm not...
No. They can fly and then they come, many of them, and eat up.
Gagak.
No, not gagak.
It's insects, no. It's insects.
It's an insect, yeah.
Insect. Hama.
That's right.
Oh, hama.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Hama is pest.
Correct. Pestilence.
Yes. Oh, okay, we know.
Some of the participants
oh, right.
So it's the hama that comes out and eats. So my Vietnam project was how to detect hama mereka datang, ya, sebelum dia banyak come and attack the crop. We have to cover the paddy field.
Oh.
Yes. And we detect it by having listening poles in the paddy field so that the hama goes into the net, and this will give a signal to the farmer on the mobile phone. Hama sudah datang.
Whoa. That's amazing. So that, I mean, like it's like early warning.
Correct.
So that they are able to protect them.
System.
Early warning system, EWS, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we can form this without, interacting with the community. Yeah, this project.
You cannot do this. So therefore, I suggest the next time you have this subject on food security under one of your pillars, yeah, under food security, and then to teach it, or under the biotech area to teach it. This is important because
yes,
Indonesia is
agricultural. Oh, yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
And I'm happy to come and teach it for you.
This is what we call it innovation. Yeah, I think quadruple helix really works here, Prof. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to emphasize your quadruple helix.
Yes, that is, I mean, like this is the part where, we combine efforts from multiple parties and actors, right? Then we will implement this together so to make it benefit for everyone. Yeah,
this is a big project, and I hope that you can introduce this in Indonesia as well.
Yes,
that is amazing, Prof.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. I think this is the end for our session, Dr. John Fung and Dr. Richard. And I think we can close the sessions. And I will close for all the participants also. Thank you so much for all participants that already attend for today's webinar. Hopefully today's webinar giving you a new insight. Me along Dr. Richard and Dr. John Fong and Gabriel will end the session. Thank you so much. Stay safe and stay healthy, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you,
John.
Professor John. Thank you,
Bye.
Miss
Thank
Acha.
you.
Yeah, and
Thank
thank you
you.
also for the
Bye.
participants.
Thank you so
Thank
much for all
you.
the
Thank
participants.
you.
Bye.
Okay.